Hi everyone. This is Alexis Hart with Simply Pure, and don't mind my workstation right now. I'm doing a little bit of an experiment, and I kind of wanted to document it just to see if it was going to work. You know how us soapers are. You know, we have something in our minds, and we want to see if it's going to work, and we have all these ways of how we should be able to do it and all that stuff. But anyway, so this is the first time I'm documenting something, and I don't know how it's going to turn out. I hope it's going to turn out well, but here we go. Okay, so in here, but first let me explain to you what I'm trying to do. I wanted to make a Bathbomb floating soap combination bar. This was my theory. Okay, say, you're traveling, or you're going to a friend's house, or you're staying over your boyfriend's house, or whatever the case may be. You want to take a luxurious bath, but you don't want to take your whole bathroom with you. So what if you could combine a travel-sized bar, and it be your favorite bath bomb and your favorite soap? That's what I want to do. I don't know if it's going to work, but that's what I'm trying to do. So, as I stated, I didn't show you how to do the bath bombs because I'm pretty sure we all are pretty much in tune with how to do that. So this is just a pretty typical bath bomb recipe. Citric acid, sodium bicarbonate. I put a little bit of oatmeal in there because I love oatmeal in my bath bombs because I have eczema and it soothes my skin. I added a little bit of glycerin and a little sweet almond oil to it, just for that extra, skin moisturizing factors. So here I have like I said, my bath bombs are pressed into my molds. I'm going to do two types. I'm going to do, in the square rectangular bars, I'm going to pour regular melt and pour onto these. I'm not going to let it harden. I'm not going to, sorry if my camera's moving around. I cannot find my tripod for the life of me. I'm not going to let the bath bombs harden. I'm just going to pour one regular melt and pour on top of it. And then I'm going to do a whipped melt and pour on top of it. The whipped melt and pour is what's going to create the floating aspect of the soap. So if it works, I'm going to try to zoom in a little bit. If it works, you can see my oatmeal in there. I hope you can see it. Am I out of focus? I don't know. I hope you guys can see this. Okay, so if it works, this part, which is the bath bomb part, will fizz away. And then once it fizzes away, the soap bar will float to the top. In theory, if it works out the way I want it to work. So we still don't know. That's why we're doing the trial and error. Here, I'm going to just let these bath bombs dry. I only filled the cavity up halfway. So, you still have a good portion of bath bomb, and then you'll still have a good portion of soap. I don't know if I'm going to do these maybe with the floating or the regular bath, or maybe I'll do 3 and 3, but I have to wait until these dry tomorrow or later on today. So I'm going to put that to the side for right now. And now I'm going to do my melt and pour. I'm going to melt it down and pour this one, and melt it down and whip it and do that one, and I'll bring you back. Alright, so I'm back, and guess who found her tripod? Woohoo! I hope you guys can see this. Alright, so I have here my melt and pour. I just used some melt and pour that just some scraps I had left over, because like I said, these are just test bars. I didn't want to use my good stuff. I melted it down. And like I said before, I'm going to pour one of these. This is my bath bombs inside the mold here. Let me just show you again. I hope you can see it. Yeah, so that's my bath bombs in there. In one cavity, I'm going to pour the hot melt and pour on top of it without it let it dry in. And then the second cavity, I'm going to pour the whipped melt and pour without it let it dry in. Again, the whipped melt and pour, in my mind, once the bath bomb fizzes away, the whipped melt and pour soap or the whipped bar will float to the top. And of course, the other one will just sink to the bottom. But again, like I said, I'm doing this 2 ways. Tomorrow I'll be, after those other bath bombs dry, I'll be seeing if it works that way. I'm gonna have to melt this a little more because it's kind of cooling down while I'm talking. While I let the other ones dry, tomorrow I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to do 3 with plain melt and pour, and then I'll do 3 with the whipped melt and pour. Now, just as a disclaimer, I do not think this one is going to work. Because as I stated before, these bath bombs are still wet. And I'm pretty sure that this hot melted pour is going to cause these bath bombs to activate. But how do you know what works and what doesn't work unless you try it? So that's what I'm doing, giving it a shot, just for a good old trial and error. I don't want to pour them too hot because even though I don't think they're going to work, you know, I don't want to be the reason why it doesn't work. So let's measure this. Let's take this temperature. Right now this is at, can you see that? It's at 212. 212 is way too hot to pour anything. So I'm going to cover it up with some plastic wrap. So it can cool down a little bit. When you cover your melt and pour with plastic wrap, it prevents it from developing the film or skin on the top of it while it's cooling. So that's what I usually do when I'm working with either multiple layers, multiple colors, or whatever I'm doing at the time. Alright, while we're waiting for that to cool, let's talk about this fragrance here. Alright, so I'm back. I melted down the frosting that I had, and I added a few pieces just for added moisture. And I'm going to add a little hand soap just so it doesn't dry out while I'm whipping it. And you're not going to whip it like you're whipping a frosting. You're just going to whip it enough so that it's creamy and airy. And I'll show you what I mean. Excuse the noise. Hold on, I'm trying to clean my You know, when you're doing frosting and you're whipping your soaps or whatever you're doing it for, you really should use a fairly new hand mixer. Because I've had this hand mixer for about 15 years. And it works good, but I can tell that the motor is getting ready to go out. So I think that may be one of the reasons I'm having a problem with my frosting. Alright, so like I said, you don't want to whip it like you're whipping frosting. You just want to whip it enough so that so that the soap is filled with air. And now I'm gonna, oh crap. See, this is the only problem you have when working with small batches. It starts to cool so quickly. So look at that. See how fast that cooled? So now I gotta reheat it and do it again. So like I said, this is still trial and error. I'm still trying to get the hang of it. However, this right here, I mean, I don't know if you can really see that, but this bar actually looks promising. Like, I'm really excited. I hope it comes out the way I want it to. Okay, even though I melted this down, it still has a lot of the air in it. So I'm not going to whip it as much, just a little tiny bit. Clean this soap off my spatula. Hopefully that'll melt down too. And like I said, I'm still fairly new to soaping myself, so I just like to experiment with things to see, you know, how they come out. Or, you know, because my ideas aren't necessarily everybody else's ideas. I might think of something that no one else has thought of. Oh, I'm sorry. Like I said, you see, it's not like frosting. It's still pretty creamy, but it has a lot of air in it. So I'm going to pour that. And fill that cavity up. And hopefully it works. And it doesn't activate. I hope it doesn't activate it. So far, this one didn't activate it, although I did pour it when it was still fairly, while it was cooling down. This one is still pretty hot. Let's see. Can you see the heat gun? This one is registering at 140. Oh, shit. Oh, sorry. Cursed. This one is registering at, gotta edit that out. This one is registering at about 150. I don't know why I just didn't press the hold button. That's registering at 150, 145. I hope you can see that. And this one is already down to 124. So we're doing pretty good. Like I said, this bar right here is really promising to me. I'm excited about that one. I don't know how good that one's gonna work out. Don't know how any of them is gonna work out, but we shall see. So I'll see you tomorrow once the other one's dry and once we pop these out of the molds and see what happens. Bye. Okay, I just wanted to come back real quickly because these bars have already hardened. Like, I'm not going to pop them out yet because I want the bath bomb portion of it to be completely dry. So I'm not going to pop them out until tomorrow, but I just wanted to show you that so far I took the suction out of this side, and I don't know if you can see that, but it looked like it's sticking together. Like, I don't know if you can see that, but it's already molded, and some of the bath bomb went into the soap. So I think these might actually be really promising. So you might be able to pour it before the bath bombs dry, but we'll definitely know for sure tomorrow. I'm so excited. I hope this works. This could be something new that we could all take joy and take part in making. So we shall see. It's the next day, and this is the bars that I did, and I tried to unmold them before I turned the camera on, and they're not good. Well, these are the other ones that I'm going to do today. These are completely hard. Hopefully we'll have better luck with those. However, these did not stick together at all. The bath bomb part got hard. Well, as hard as it could have gotten, I guess. But they didn't stick together at all. So that method didn't work. I didn't think it was going to work to begin with. But I didn't think it was going to work for different reasons. I thought as I poured the soap on it, it was going to activate it. This one, I'm having a hard time getting it out of the mold. I can tell that it's not sticking together, but for whatever reason, it still is not coming out of the mold either. So, oh, that just completely fell apart. But that didn't stick either. So what I'm gonna do is, and that, oh my gosh, that's completely falling apart. Look at that. Can you see? That's a horrible fail. However, you win some, you lose some. And obviously we lost that round. But what I do want to do is, I'm going to see if this is the whipped soap, the part that I whipped, and although it didn't stick to the bath bomb, I want to see if it's going to float at all. So I have my water here. I'm going to do a trick like, oh yeah, whatever. So let's drop it in and see if it floats. And it does! Look at there. So, I mean, I hope you can see that. Let me bring it closer. It is floating. That's awesome. So, now, with that being said, now that I've figured that out, I think I'm going to start making floating soap bars for kids, like in cool little shapes or whatever. And let's see how good of a lather it gives us. And it still gives a good lather. So that's kind of awesome. Look at there. Now, I had never made the floating soap before, but I said that I wanted to give it a try. So there you go. At least I know how that works. And it's pretty hard too, even though, you know, it's there's a lot of air in it, which causes it to float, but the bar itself gets just hard, just like any other soap. So at least it wasn't a complete fail. At least we accomplished that, so I'm pretty proud of that part. Got our melting soap. Our floating soap. Okay, so now that we did that, what's next is, I'm gonna clean that off. What's next is, we're gonna, hold on, let me dry my hands. what's next is, let's move that out of the way. We're gonna, now these are the bath bombs I made yesterday. These are hard as a rock. So what I'm gonna try to see is if letting them dry completely first makes a difference. I don't know if it will. So I'm going to do 3 with regular melt and pour, and then 3 with the whipped melt and pour, and see if I can get it to adhere like that. I don't know if it's going to work, but we'll see. I'll bring you back. Bath bombs. These are rock hard. You can hear it. And here's my melt and pour soap. Don't mind the murky color because I just used some scraps that I had around. I'm going to melt it a little bit more for a few more seconds. And then we're going to get started. Again, I'm going to be doing 3 of these with plain melt and pour and 3 of them with the whipped melt and pour. The other ones didn't stick at all, as you saw in the previous video, so we'll see if these will stick. I don't know. I mean, I don't see why something like this wouldn't be possible, but I couldn't find a recipe for it. And the problem is getting the soap to stick to the bath bomb. I mean, I know there has to be a way. I just haven't found it. And as this is looking like, I don't think this is it either, but we'll see. Oh, see my pretty box where I keep my soap scraps? I got it from Hobby Lobby for 99 cents. Awesome. Gotta love a good deal. I think they're usually like $1.99, but that one was on sale for whatever reason. So, okay, so here's my melt and pour. I didn't measure it, so I don't know what temperature it is, but I didn't put it in the microwave long, so it shouldn't be any more than like 150, 160, something like that. So I'm just gonna pour it up here and see if it works. And hopefully it does. Uh-oh. I think we're activating it. You see that bubble over there? I think it may be activating. Oh man. Let's see. That's the only one. Nope, that's not the only one that's bubbling. Yeah, I think they're being activated. Let me move a little closer so you can see the bubbles, what I'm talking about. So that's not a good sign. You see? Can you see the bubbles? Let me try to go in a little closer. See, it's starting to bubble. I think that means that the bath bomb is being activated. That sucks. So, I'm going to spray it with my alcohol anyway, even though I know it's not going to help because it's going to continue to just bubble. And let's just put some more shreds in here. Put some more shreds. And I'm going to melt this down. And then we'll do the whipped side. That's really funny though, because when it was wet and I expected it to activate the bath bomb, it didn't, but this is activating. Wow, look at this bubble. Oh my gosh. I don't know if you can see it, but it's creating a whole layer under the skin. Yeah, I don't think that's gonna work out too good, but like I said, you never really know until you try, so. Alright, so I'm going to move this to the side so I can show you while I'm whipping the soap. And again, you're not going to whip it like you would do a frosting. You want it to still be creamy. You just want to put enough air in it so that it floats. Look, this one is like a volcano. Oh my gosh. This is crazy. I've never seen that. That's funny to me. Actually, I don't even have enough soap, so I'm going to have to put some more in here to be able to finish all three. That means I'm going to have to melt it down some more too. I mean, reheat it. Oh my gosh, I'm almost going through all my shreds. I try to keep all my shreds or, you know, leftover embeds that I have, because you never know what you're going to be able to use it for. And, you know, trial errors like this is good to use, so. Oh my gosh, this is literally like a volcano and it's so hot. That's crazy. But you know what? Maybe since it's activating a little bit, that'll get it to adhere to each other. You never know how things work out sometimes. So I'm gonna melt this down and whip it some more, and then do these 3 cavities and then let it sit. And once I come back, once it dries completely, I'll come back and show you what we have. Poured the soap and the whipped soap. These are still having that volcano reaction. I don't know if you can really tell, but let's see if I can get it a little closer. But under this skin, there's like it's like a bubble of, I don't even know what it's a bubble of. I guess whatever it is, fizz or suds or whatever. But this soap, which was the regular melt and pour, caused the bath bombs to activate a little bit. However, this here on the other side, which is the whipped soap, didn't activate at all. How about that? I mean, I find that to be kind of weird. You know? But I don't know. So we'll see what happens. I just wanted to come back and let you know that this side the whip side didn't activate at all. But we'll see if what we get when we unmold in a few hours once it cools off. So again, I'll bring it back. Bath bombs, and they came out pretty cool actually, and they stuck together. So I guess the key is waiting until they're fully and completely dry. This one did kind of react a little bit, but not as bad as I thought it was going to. This is the one with just the melt and pour, and this is the one with the whipped melt and pour. But they're pretty solid and stuck together. I hope you can see that. See? And so is this one. I'm excited. And then actually I was doing a little research, and I found out that Lush was actually already offering something similar to this. But you know, I wanted to make my own version anyway. I swear, every time I record, somebody outside just want to make a whole bunch of noise. Anyway, so now we're going to drop it in the soap and see what happens. Now, of course, this one is going to sink to the bottom because it's the regular melt and pour, and this one should float to the top after the bath bomb releases it. So here we go. I'm going to do one at a time. I was going to do them simultaneously, but I'm going to do one at a time. Ooh, look at all those fizzy bubbles. And again, in my bath bomb, it's just a very simple recipe. It's the sodium bicarbonate, the citric acid, glycerin, fragrance, and oatmeal. It's fizzing pretty good too. And the water is really, really soft. It feels really good. I'm really pleased with how it's coming out. I can't wait to take a bath and see how it feels in the tub actually. Now these are really small, so if I did keep them this size, you would probably have to use 2 to get like a full bath. But I think I'm going to try to make them larger. And I like the fact that it fizzes slow, because it gives you a little bit more time to luxuriate in the tub. You know, that's just my opinion. So yeah, that one's fizzing off, and I can see, I think this is what caused it to stick too. I can see where the bath bomb started to react a little bit, because it's kind of embedded into the soap. And remember, we had that bubble up there, but it still came out pretty good. The water's, like I said, the water and the bubbles, and the foam are really nice and soft. It really feels good. So that's that one. Now let's try. My hands are wet, so it's going to activate on its own a little bit. Now this is the one that should float to the top after all the bath bomb has fizzed off of it. And it's actually already floating. What? What'd you say? I don't know. But yeah, see, it's really fizzing really slowly. This one didn't have a lot of bath bomb on it, but it's still doing the job. Yeah, so I'm really happy with how it turned out. And like we said, our soap is floating. Yay! So, that's pretty good. It's pretty cool. I'm glad it worked out. I'm happy. And I'm glad I recorded it. So, this is my first YouTube video, too. So, I'm excited all the way around the board. But there you go. That's how we... Now that we know it's possible. Oh my gosh, this water feels so good. Like, I wish you guys could feel it. It's really soft. But yeah, so here we have... I'm going to see if I can do them side by side. Hold on. Here's the side with the regular melt and pour. And it came out wonderful. That bath bomb. I think I'm going to start adding glycerin to them all the time, because this water is really soft this time. And I don't know if it's because of the glycerin, but it just feels a little softer than usual. However, that's another video. Yeah, so here's the one that had just the regular melt and pour, and it turned out really good and really pretty. I still can't get over that smell though. And this is the one with the whipped melt and pour, and the soap is floating to the top. I like that one because it's really hard. When you're in the tub, it's hard to find your bar of soap. It usually sinks to the bottom and you're looking all around for it. But at least this one floats right to the top as soon as the bath bomb is done fizzing off. So I think this will be the only variety that I offer it in. I think that's pretty cool. So, there you go. Like I said, the only way we know if things work is through trial and error. And I'm glad that I tried it. I had fun. I learned a lot. And we learned that in order for it to work, in order for it to adhere to each other, the bath bomb has to be completely dry first. So I thank you for watching. Hopefully there's more videos to come. And I'll see you around. Goodbye, my soapy friends.